Yeah, it looks that way. All right.
Rolling audio 6.
And we're live.
What's up, everybody?
Oh, that was me drinking coffee.
Time change doesn't jack me up, or hadn't jacked me up in the past.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah. Got you this time?
Jet lag has always fucked me up.
Yeah.
Even 2 hours. Fuck me up. And then just today, I got slapped in the face.
You feel you're beat today?
Yeah. I mean, and we've had like a stressful-ish couple days. It's launch week.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this, things will be live in like 6 days. Monday the 21st, 3sb.co, good company, new launch, rocking the hoodie, kind of an Americana throwback, American traditional type vibe, a couple hoodies, some lounge rest day shorts, a couple oversized tees, which are probably my favorite tees we've ever made. So yeah, we shot all day, but it's not like we're fucking...
It's not really work.
No, and we're the bosses, so it's not like we're like, all right, be out of here by 6. Or
Yeah.
Like,
it's just, you have money riding on it. That's the...
Yeah, stress, and then counting shit, and then emailing people, and then already preparing for the next launch, and then still trying to lift. And then I think maybe, I hate to say it because I'm not shredded, but I've been dieting for like 6 weeks, 8 weeks.
I'm sorry.
I think that's making me a little tired. I hate to say it because like when we've hung out with Alberto Nunez or whoever, and they're diced the fuck up.
Yeah,
and
you can see their pancreas working.
Yeah, literal. Yeah, they look like those Amazonian frogs with no like pigment, and you can see through their body.
Yeah.
And so like, I hate to say like, man, I'm tired from dieting, but I know people that have suffered to get shredded, but a little bit less calories, and I'm training really hard for the first time in maybe 3-4 years.
A minute.
Yeah, like we're kind of getting after it right now, which feels good, but then it's just catching up to your boy. My eyes are just heavy, I guess.
Yeah, I've been, this is weird. This time change, you spring forward, but I'm tired earlier, which just makes no sense at all. And my body always preps for this change by waking up earlier.
Oh. Yeah, so that's what happened on the first day. Sunday. I woke up at like 6, which would have been 5.
Yeah.
But I felt great.
Yeah.
And then yesterday I slept in a bit, woke up at like 8 new time, which would have been old 7, right?
Yeah.
And that's how I normally wake up, about 7. And then today I woke up at 7 and I'm dead. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know how any of that goes.
I got caught in a computer update cycle last night. Like I was updating all of my Apple shit last night for whatever reason.
Is there new stuff? Do I need to update something?
There's new stuff. Yeah. I don't know.
On my phone?
Yeah, you have the new phone, so there may be not that it matters at the moment, but the unlock your phone when you're wearing a mask.
Oh
yeah. But I was doing that with my watch anyway. When it worked, I don't know.
I don't really mind my password. Like punching it in.
Oh yeah.
I have my face going, but like if it doesn't register, even with a hat, sometimes if your hat's too low to get a little weird, I'll just punch it in.
What's weird is that I'm reading articles that say that if you set it up with the mask on, then that's how you do it, and that's totally wrong. It says in the thing, no, you don't have to wear a mask for us to set it up this way.
Why aren't we on that retina shit yet? Like, is it Minority Report is the main one? I mean, I know there's shit ton of movies.
Star Trek 2 is the first one.
Oh, was it? Yeah. Retina. I mean, it makes sense. Are your retinas that unique though? I don't even know anything.
They're supposed to be
like a thumbprint type shit.
Yeah, they're supposed to be. I don't really know the absolute science.
I don't
behind
either.
It, but
or like a little. What if they could do like a non-invasive, not bleeding prick of your finger, analyze DNA, because that's got to be unique, right? Unless you're a twin, I guess. Even still, there's got to be something in there unique.
This is nuts, and it's on the topic but off the topic.
I mean, this isn't even a topic. This is just my brain running.
I pay attention to ancestry, and DNA, and all that kind of crap. And there's a subreddit for the ancestry DNA, for the ancestry.com DNA thing. People post their results and stuff there. And this last week, this one woman came on and said, "Yeah, my nieces are twins, and they were always told that they were fraternal twins because they had 2 placentas, but
is there normally 1 placenta? Was that the main difference?
Well, here's the thing. Most of the time, if they're identical twins, they share a placenta. But the thing is, not always.
Oh.
They can have separate ones. And
that's a lot of tea to drink after you have your kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Placenta tea. That's the thing. You know that, right?
What?
Placenta tea.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, or you...
Placenta soup.
Or you dig a hole in the backyard and plant a throw it in, then plant a tree on top of it.
That I don't mind.
Kyle Kingsbury did that, and then moved immediately.
The tree I like.
Moved to Austin, Texas from the Bay Area after.
The tree at least is like symbolic or whatever. Like that's cool. But like drinking that seems a little.
I always wanted to ask if they dug up the tree and took it to Texas with them.
You got to, right? That's one of a kind.
I guess. Yeah, right?
I don't know.
Fully absorbed by that point. Anyway, though, she's like, yeah, but their DNA results came up 100% match. They're the same person, so they're definitely identical, even though they look somewhat different from each other. And someone else jumped in and said, oh, no, it's more complicated than that. Because sometimes with twins, the blood of one, the like DNA of one, sort of sits on top of the DNA of the other. So one twin is
camouflaged,
has the original DNA, and the other one is a chimera. So their blood is the same, but
I've heard that term. Oh, it's a mixed species, right?
Yeah.
That's dude. And I hate to do it, but my favorite entertainer, probably of all time, is Alex Jones.
Oh,
and he talks about chimeras a lot.
Oh my God! This took a turn.
I don't know why. I do know why.
Violent right turn.
I think he's the most entertaining person on the planet.
I think that denying that children died in a school at a shooting in a school
I'm not
is
saying,
one of the most vile things anyone's ever said or done.
I'm not saying I
public.
get my news from him.
Yeah, but still,
I'm not getting my education from him.
Yeah, I just here's why I can't, because I think that if you hear the same thing over and over often enough, you'll start to believe that it's true, whether it's true or not. And I mean, that's how propaganda works.
Yeah, for sure. Propaganda is scary because it comes from, or typical propaganda comes from such an authority, you know, so you feel kind of blindsided by it. But I just take it as an entertainment, pure value.
Yeah, I can't do that.
But he talks about chimeras.
Yeah.
That's where I heard that term the first time, probably.
Probably so.
Yeah.
Somebody take a beer? No, they got rearranged in there.
A whiskey?
No, the beer. The tall white ones are beers.
Oh.
They're like crazy beers that Chris brought in for some, and have been there for a year and a half, and we haven't touched.
The beer's probably no good then, right?
No, bad? that's a cellarable beer.
So it's just cool,
probably
like whiskey forever.
Yeah, probably getting better. Yeah.
Oh, resell at eBay. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks for a couple bucks.
Sitting there next to our bottle of Redbreast that cost a fortune. Probably even more now.
Where did we start with chimeras? Oh, twins?
Oh,
DNA.
twins. Yeah. So their blood could be identical, but they're not identical.
And what about guy-girl? I think I grew up with guy-girl, but they were like identical, but they weren't, you know?
That would have to be chimera, I guess. But even then,
they almost look like identical?
Yeah, well, that's just looking very, very similar.
Maybe they're just, I don't know. I don't know shit about fucking DNA.
What I will say is this, though. If you get a bone marrow transplant, you take on the immune system of another person, of the person who's your donor. Yeah. So because that's what you're trying.
You want a healthy person,
yeah.
Rev shit up.
So like when they test your DNA, it's them.
Yeah.
It's not really you.
That makes sense. Bone marrow.
I don't know what to do with that, but that's the truth.
Yeah, I don't even know where we started. Being tired.
DNA.
Oh, to open our fucking phone with DNA.
Oh, why you can't just do that? Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
Or like a door, you know? Like the retina, it makes sense if it is 100% unique, but I don't know shit about retinas either. But you know, like if I could handle a door and somehow they just like scrape without hurting me and you just zap some DNA and then fucking open the door like for only me.
Like a continuous glucose monitor kind of thing?
Yeah.
Although they stick in though, right? Don't they?
Yeah, I think some stick in.
They stick in a little
bit. Bittner, Jessica, shout out to the Canadian forklifter, my favorite lifter. She always rocks one now. Mm. I mean, she's been type 1 diabetic, but now I think she just rocks like, the constant.
Well, yeah, if she's a type 1 diabetic, that's a really good thing to do.
Yeah.
If you're not a diabetic at all, it's a total waste of time.
Not if it opens my garage door. Then it's fucking sick.
But that's different. But okay, so then you're gonna get some Alex Jones shit here. That's like the entire Christian right is going to be upset by that because of the whole Mark of the Beast thing.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah,
I'm part of the Illuminati already. Sold my soul for a check mark on Instagram.
I guess you did.
Yeah.
That's
yeah, it happened.
There's another podcast that I listen to all the time, and like there are two hosts, and one of the hosts has a check mark on Twitter, and the other one doesn't.
Yeah, I should flaunt a little more.
And the real question there is because they're I mean, none neither one of them is more famous than the other. There's no question about why. And the guy without a check mark has a more unique name.
He does the other guy, because it used to be, I don't know if it's the case anymore, it used to be by publishing. So like I was in a bunch of magazines through Reebok.
Yeah, that's often the way.
Yeah, that's how it used to be. It used to be like 2 or more. But but I'm not verified on Twitter, and it's arguably easier to get on Twitter.
Supposed to be.
Yeah,
supposed to be.
I'm verified on Twitch, but that's just partnered, which is kind of the same.
Yeah, and then
YouTube,
Instagram.
kind of. Yeah, Instagram.
Did Reebok do the Instagram one for you?
Basically, like directly and indirectly. Yeah, because all my like publishing was like through them. I'd write articles for them or do videos for them, and then they would like not sell them, but like promote it through Men's Health.
And they use a PR firm for that.
Right. Yeah, I think it was in-house at the time. Now I think they use a firm.
Yeah. 100% of people appearing in magazines comes out of PR.
I know. It's kind of the game that I probably should have played 10 years ago, but just didn't. But that's what, like, that's literally, if we want to start shit talking, that's literally, it goes back to our last question. I think we talked about, like, celebrity and gimmicky trainers. Mm-hmm. We didn't bring this up, but, like, a lot of that is, like, pseudo paid for. Right? Like, you get a PR team, and then they get you into shape in Men's Health, and it has nothing to do with your qualifications, not even really to do with your network. Like, shout out to BJ Gador, our guy. Like, BJ was, like, top dog at Men's Health Fitness for a long time. And, like, he was about to fly me out there to do a bunch of projects with him before he left the company. But basically, it's just your PR team already knowing Men's Health. And yeah, you could be trainer for 2 years, but if you have the best PR person that has the connections, you're going to be and you're hot enough, you're going to be on the front of Shape magazine.
Yeah, well,
and then you get a celebrity to see you on that magazine, and then you're coaching fucking, Gigi Hadid or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, 100% of the time it's because of a PR thing, or I was 100% is maybe a little high. I would say 99% of the time is that, and 1% of the time it's somebody with that within that organization has been exposed to you at some point and actually likes you and throws you.
Yeah, it's like a fan.
Yeah.
All my stuff was kind of through Reebok. All my mainstream shit.
Yeah,
and everything else was with you and the crew.
Back in the day, ST was a top 10 like underground gym. On Men's Health, and that was 100% through Elite FTS's PR firm.
Yeah, and like it probably was, so it's cool to get that.
It probably was.
Yeah, but like then like,
but this was way back. Right. This is in the.
No, I remember seeing
when
it
we were in the hood. Yeah,
I remember seeing it. Yeah, I don't know. And I just don't like those games, because even I can't do a good job of lying to the world. Me and Kyle were up one wall away because he lives with me, and texting each other like a cute little like a sleepover at like 10:30. We never do that either. We just started texting each other at like 10:30 the other night, and we're talking about like branding and like what people do good and what's wrong with the industry and whatever. And a lot of it is like even that little hump, and that's like the smallest thing. Like I just can't get myself to lie about that.
Yeah,
where other people. And it's not like a huge lie. I don't feel like I'm going to hell for that. But like I don't think it's like authentic. And the whole reason I do podcasts, YouTube, Instagram is so I can be me. And I don't have to fuck around. But guys will get a PR firm, which again, nothing wrong with that. But then get on Men's Health and then train some pseudo celebrity or rapper. And then like just like claim like they're a master celebrity trainer. Mm-hmm. Rather than just saying like, yeah, man, I'm pretty good at PR and business. Because that's really what you're good at.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, you have abs or whatever. Like, and I've literally met people day to day over the last 10 years that like say like, yeah, man, I'm not much of a trainer. Like I was kind of good at lifting or I had the look and this firm picked me up. I'm like, oh, and now you're working with elite athletes? Like that sounds healthy. Yeah. Like, and I just can't get myself to, one, get a PR firm because it's never the route I wanted to go. And then two, like hide that fact and claim it was me that got on the cover of Men's Health.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like it was my dream to be on Men's Health, and look, I grinded my way here. Like, did you? Or you just hire the right person?
Yeah.
And diet for 6 weeks. Like, nah. No. It'd be sick. I'd fucking love to be on a magazine. Like, even though magazines are totally obsolete, it's like still in fitness in particular, and in most industries, but fitness in particular, like being on the cover of magazines, like was a number one goal for most people.
Yeah.
Like that means you hit it. And yeah, it'd be fucking rad, but what am I gonna do with that?
Yeah, start your own magazine, put yourself on the cover.
Yeah, I mean that's what some do.
We know people who did that.
But like, yeah, even I don't know. It just all sucks. The whole industry sucks. And it's cool. It's business and it's marketing, and I get it. But I'd just rather market authentically. But that's basically me and Kyle were talking about. Like, yeah, like people like niche themselves whether they believe in it or not. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm the keto guy, and all you fucking talk about is keto, and all you talk about is steak, and all you talk. I was fucking buying broccoli. I'm on Amazon, Whole Foods, whatever, you know. And yeah, it'd be fucking rad. But I got an echo. What am I gonna do with that?
Yeah, I'm starting.
And I just heard it myself.
Okay.
In my ear, and I hate my voice.
I almost
just puked.
Yeah, because I was trying.
I almost had an Inception puke. I'd just rather market authentically.
Yep,
hear myself.
Oh, Jesus.
I hear myself in the past.
All right.
We just went in a black hole. I'm on Amazon, Whole Foods, whatever, getting food delivered because where I live, there's like no good grocery store. And 2, I'm lazy as fuck. Since COVID hit, I never go to the grocery store. And I'm buying just frozen broccoli, right? Yeah, I know you bitches out there are going to say, like, why are you drinking, diet soda with all these chemicals and then frozen broccoli? Go eat some fresh broccoli. But the truth is, you guys drink alcohol all weekend and you guys are pieces of shit. I'm doing much better than you. So I buy frozen broccoli and large on the bag. It says keto friendly.
Oh, really?
I'm like, motherfuckers, broccoli. Like, where are we?
I don't know.
People were not eating broccoli because they thought it was making them fat, but now it says keto and they're going to buy broccoli all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Like, these companies, I don't know exactly what company it was, but I'm sure it's some large-ass brand. They have marketing teams with trillions of dollars doing shit tons of research that proves that works. Like, they're not putting that on there for no reason.
Probably not for no. I don't know.
No, for sure. I guarantee there's so much money involved.
So much of this stuff is done by people who are 23 years old or just graduated from college. Really, because
but they still have some kind of stats. No 23-year-olds at like Big Green Giant saying, "Hey, we're throwing keto on the bag," and they're
No. Most advertising people just graduated from college. That's why such advertising sucks.
No, I know, but I know it's there's got to be stats behind it. Yeah. There's no way they could prove to the uppers to pay it to change the whole thing. There's just no way. It's not even an ad. It's on the bag of the fucking thing.
I don't know.
That's wild.
I don't know. I don't eat frozen broccoli, so I can't really tell you.
Dude.
We just had some fresh broccoli that was like the craziest that I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna like boil it. Like I just don't want. It's just more dishes. And
you boil it.
What do you do?
You roast it in the oven.
Oh, I could do that too. But that takes a little bit longer.
Or you can saute it on the stove.
We're diet. You got to put olive oil on there to make it taste good.
Yeah, fuck that. Olive oil is fine. Leave olive oil alone.
No, it's too many calories.
Leave olive oil alone. Popeye and olive oil, leave them alone. Spinach and olive oil.
Oh, spinach. Yeah, if I'm trying to make a good meal, for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about that. I'm never worried. I'm fat at the moment. I don't really care. Period. But that's not. I'm never going to worry about that. That's majoring in the minors as far as I'm concerned. If you're not cracking the top of it and throwing your head back and taking it to the dome, it doesn't matter because you're not using more than a couple teaspoons.
Yeah, but like, what's a teaspoon?
You're not eating all of it. It's coating part of it.
Yeah.
And most of it's in the pan. And
if I'm tracking my food, I'm gonna track my food.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I disagree.
I think that you could profit more from paying attention to your salt than you can from oil because you're just going to
losing weight.
You're going to retain.
I don't think so.
I think so.
If your salt is high but consistent, you'll be fine.
I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's not going to fluctuate. You can't gain weight by eating salt.
Yes, you can. Totally. You gain fluid, but you retain fluid.
Yeah, but there's an upper limit.
Yeah, but still,
you're not going to like continue. You're not going to get from 220 to 300 pounds eating salt.
No. But I'm talking about you're not trying to lose 80 pounds.
I'm trying to lose like 40. I was 250, and I'm 220.
Lord.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm tracking everything. I mean, for the average person that doesn't need to lose weight, yeah, you don't need to track the oil you're cooking with. But if you're dieting, you need to track calories. That's just a fact. That's just science.
You can track calories, but I would not. If you're using a little bit of oil to cook, I wouldn't worry about it. I would never worry about it.
Yeah, but you saying that, who's using actually a little bit of oil to cook?
I only use a little bit of oil to cook.
I know, because you're saying it. But everyone listening is not just using a little bit of oil to cook. That's like, I just put a little butter on my toast, and they fucking dunk.
Yeah, no, people need to have a reasonable amount of it, but that doesn't mean cut it out.
No.
I mean, that's the whole point of if it fits your macros or counting your calories, period.
For sure.
Is figuring out how much of it is actually like an effective calorie.
But that's
in your
when
diet.
you track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
if you go untracked and everything, that's when you're like, oh, I'm just having a handful of chips, and you leave with double-handed in your jacket handful of chips.
I think it matters if it's an ingredient, but it's not an ingredient if you're cooking in it. It's a cooking medium. I mean, you're not, what you're getting off of it is so little that it's not worth it. You can steam your broccoli if you want to, but it's fucking boring.
Yeah, it's boring. But I mean, if you're trying to lose 50 pounds, it's going to be boring.
Yeah, I mean, a trick is you can steam your broccoli in the microwave and throw it in a pan with a very minimal amount of olive oil and brown it up so that it actually tastes like something.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I really don't. Now I'll do a little like fat-free cheese on there. I mean, I'm not eating broccoli to begin with to hit my pizza craving. You know, I'm eating broccoli so I don't die and so I can take a shit.
Yeah, my point is that most people's problem with losing weight doesn't have to do with a little bit of oil or a little bit of regular cheese or whatever.
I think it does. I honestly do. I think because you do that little bit all the time. So if you go, oh, it's just a little bit of whole milk in my coffee. Oh, it's just a little bit of whole milk in my cereal. Oh, it's just a little bit of olive oil here. Oh, it's just a little more dressing on my salad. Oh, it's a little bit more cheese on my pizza. Oh, I think that does for a lot of folks. I think for a lot of folks it does.
I think that binge eating and just overeating, period, are so much more of the problem.
I don't think that's good either.
80 to 90% of the problem.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the stats on how many people binge that are overweight or not, or how many people just have poor habits. I mean, I honestly think if we want to get to the root of nutrition issues, it's inconsistencies, obviously eating out, obviously overconsumption, and is an easy one, but I think number one is education. People don't even know there's calories and stuff. They don't know what calories are in what. Everyone should know how many carbs are in a banana.
Yeah.
There's no reason we shouldn't.
Or how many calories are in an egg, which is to say almost none.
Yeah, it's like 6 fat, 6 protein, depending on the size of the egg.
Yeah.
Yeah, but people don't know that.
Yeah.
I think if you know that, now you can be flexible to make those changes. But if you don't know that, and you're just dosing.
Yeah, I think that the general philosophy, like being exposed to Lane and stuff, it's the over availability of hyper palatable foods and that people can't restrain themselves from eating too much of. I don't think that.
But that's because they don't know what is even palatable. People have no clue what anything is.
No, palatable as in like tastes good.
No, I know, and people don't even know like that chips, or they might grab like a veggie chip.
Yeah,
which is palatable, but they think it's healthy.
Yeah,
but that's got the same amount of carbs, same amount of fat as
they're not looking
Dorito.
at the labels or whatever.
That's my point. Is education of calories within an item.
Yeah,
and once you control all that, now you can choose the flexibility. Like, all right, I'm not going to put cheese on my hamburger. I'm going to put more oil on my broccoli.
Yeah,
but when you start to do both all the time for every meal,
but the diet, the human diet that rates the highest for health overall and always has is the Mediterranean diet, which has olive oil in it.
Yeah, I'm not saying olive oil is unhealthy. That's a different topic. I'm talking about losing weight.
Yeah, but
that's a much different topic.
But a healthy weight is part of the point of a diet. I think, I don't know, I just fucking hate the word diet anyway. That's
okay, nutrition. We could use whatever you want, but diet to me means you're trying to lose weight.
Toward what end, though? Are you going to stick at that? Or
that's the goal. I was 250 pounds at 5'9". Like, why would I want to do that? That's not healthy.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
What does that mean? You're giving up olive oil forever?
No, you can sprinkle it back in, but I just, like I said, I know my calories everywhere, so I get to choose where I eat what I want to eat.
Yeah.
And olive oil in my broccoli is not the number one choice. That's the point of being flexible.
I don't like broccoli.
Right, so then you can choose that and then not eat like steak, right? If you're dieting, then the same idea. You'd go with the leaner beef or leaner chicken, and you do that. I would rather do the opposite. That's where the flexibility comes for the individual palate.
Okay.
But for the masses that might be listening,
I will. For the masses that might be listening, roll it back. People said, you're saying you don't want to eat olive oil because of the calories.
Yeah.
And there are people out there saying, I can't eat olive oil. And which is not true. You can totally eat olive oil.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, they can. They can fit it in if they know what the hell they're doing, for sure.
Yeah.
But to say it has no calories isn't an option either.
Yeah, I didn't say it has no calories, but I don't think I think they're negligible for the amount of oil that's actually on your thing.
Right. But that was my point, is that the negligible to the bad eating habit ends up in a snack, in a meal on every plate, and then it's not negligible anymore.
Well, I think you have to exercise judgment about what's negligible, but I think that olive oil, just by itself, when you're cooking with it and you're not like bathing everything in it, it's not that big a deal.
Sure. Yeah, but nothing's a big deal.
Well, unless you overeat it, nothing's a big deal.
Right. Well, next topic. Yeah.
I just don't like binaries when it comes to any of this stuff.
Who said binary? No one did. Did. I said I do frozen broccoli because it's fast and easy for me. That's what I said.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
I can make a 5-course meal with fucking olive oil and go ham-ass. I got half an hour to eat, and then I'm fucking back moving. That's it.
All right, next topic. Did you watch the latest Winning Time?
We saw it. I still don't understand why they're making Jerry West
so crazy.
Yeah, or a piece of shit. Yeah.
Well, I think that
is that the underlying joke or is that the underlying truth?
No, I think that the deal is that he sucked as a coach because he hated being a coach.
Yeah,
and
perhaps I think he could have just sucked at being a coach. Like every great player, I can't name. I mean, there's some really good players that have been coaches. Lenny Wilkins was a really good coach in the NBA and a really good point guard in the 70s. But he's not top 10 point guard all time. Like, there's not a lot of top players that are dope coaches.
Yeah.
Football, I don't know much about baseball. Soccer didn't work out well for Maradona. Like, there's not a lot of guys that end up doing that.
Yeah.
Because chances are, if you're in the top 10 of any category all time, powerlifting I'd probably include. That might hurt some feelings out there. But if you're top 50, top 100, chances are you have a gift that others don't.
Mm-hmm.
And so for your road, not that it's easy, because everyone's going to bitch, like, I worked hard too. Sure you did. Sure, pal. You need a fucking tap on the back that you worked hard. But chances are things probably came slightly easier to you. That's just the fact.
Yeah.
Like Jordan didn't have to worry about dunking.
Yeah.
That's not something he had to work on. Or, there's certain things like he just didn't have to go against that a 5'9" Italian guy would have to go against to fucking learn how to play basketball. And so I'd imagine Jerry West ran into some of that being a poor coach.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they have him fucking like fetal position in his living room.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is he doing?
Now, that may be in his book.
It might be. He's well documented as a persona.
Yeah.
And he's still around, though. Like, he's still around the Lakers organization.
No, he's not anymore.
He hangs out there all the time.
He has no relationship with the Lakers organization anymore. I just read an article.
Oh, maybe. I know he hangs out there. Yeah, maybe he doesn't work there, but he's around. Like, he's in the industry.
They've basically cut him out and cut him off.
That's weird.
They don't.
Maybe he's crazy then.
However, it's when he becomes a GM that's a big deal. He's probably one of the best GMs in basketball history.
Yeah, that's a little different too than coaching, because you're just looking at raw talent.
Yeah, totally different thing. But
and finagling. Yeah, the Red Auerbach, that made him look like a dick.
Yeah, a lot of Celtics fans upset by that.
Probably. They snuck in David Stern, which becomes a very big name here in Sacramento for sure. Yeah. But in the NBA, and I'm sure he was a great commissioner. But he also got pretty lucky. Like, you got Magic Johnson, Larry Bird take over the league with like a lot of spice, and then Jordan comes in and literally changes sports history and fashion history.
Yeah.
I'd probably be a really sick commissioner in the 90s too, and then you have Allen Iverson. Like, there's like a lot of drama and a lot of sure, he had his issues he had to deal with, but
born on third base, as they say.
Yeah, he kind of got the lucky draw there rather than you're in a boring ass sport like we even talked about in the last episode. Like, baseball, football, generally speaking, obviously got more difficult, better athletes, better training. But if you watch tape, it looks like the same sport. Basketball literally doesn't look like the same sport 2020 to 1960.
Yeah.
Like, it's a different sport. Like, and the rules, I'd imagine the rules have changed more drastically than the other two sports too. Like, for a long time, you couldn't dunk a basketball. It was illegal.
Yeah.
There was no 3-point line. like big changes, drastic changes, where that's like baseball not allowing home runs.
Yeah. They're talking about, they got in the next 45 days or less than 45 days now from the beginning of the signing of the collective bargaining agreement for Major League Baseball. Yeah. Spring training starting late, whatever. But they may increase the size of the bases, which sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because
are too many people getting out? Like, what's the end goal there?
I don't know.
Dudes' feet are bigger?
I don't know.
What are we doing?
Yeah, I don't know. They're talking about originally they struck the Ghost Runner for extra innings games. They originally struck that. That may come back because apparently some of them like it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hate it. I hate the whole idea. It's a different strategy when you're
Sure.
When you're starting with somebody on second base.
Yeah, I don't know. All of us, yeah, and I guess the overtime rule in football is a little weird, so people don't like that.
Yeah.
And that's semi-new, probably in the last 20 years. I don't know. Baseball bats and balls, I know change in baseball a lot.
The biggest thing being that the National League is going to have a designated hitter going forward. It never really has for any length of time before.
Didn't they buy Rawlings or something recently? Me and Kyle were talking about it.
Oh, that's a possibility.
That seems like a weird conflict of interest going on.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that MLB bought Rawlings within the last 10 years.
That's a possibility. I don't know.
And now balls are changing, and now you're like, all right, man, what's going on?
They used 2 different balls during the season last year and didn't disclose it until after the season was over.
To the players or the public?
Anybody.
I'm sure a pitcher would know.
Probably.
They could probably feel it.
But I don't know.
It's all so weird. Like I don't believe. I love conspiracies. They entertain me. I don't believe a ton in sports because like sports really is business.
Mm-hmm.
There really are just you can just see their motives.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty easy to tell. But yeah, having 2 different balls and not telling people it just seems weird. Like why?
Yeah,
you're always just better being honest.
Yeah, I don't know.
And just be honest with it. Hey, we wanted faster pitches.
Yeah,
so we're trying this out. Or hey, we wanted more. You say that. That's how video games work.
Yeah.
Like a different gun gets a little buff and gets a little better. Most of the time they just tell you, yeah, enough people weren't using this gun in the game. We wanted them to try this one. Mm-hmm. Oh, cool.
Makes sense.
And then you continue to play it. Yeah. Like rather than be sneaky about it, like what's the win?
I don't know. They're just socially engineering the game.
Yeah.
Physically engineering the game.
Yeah. Whatever gets views, I guess. That does make sense. And I don't know about the steroids for all argument in baseball. But there's a lot of eyes going with Sammy Sosa's smashing, It's kind of fun.
It's funny because he is like persona non grata at this point.
Yeah.
Like, nobody is on Team Sosa at this point.
McGuire
more so than Sosa. I mean, McGuire got jobs in baseball after he retired.
Bonds doesn't work for the Giants, eh?
He has a special assistant position that was part of his final contract.
Yeah, like a severance.
Yeah,
that's weird.
But they do that with a lot of them. It's not like if you ever played for the Giants, you have some opportunity to come in and do something with them.
It's cool.
Whether it's PR stuff or working with players or whatever, Yankees are kind of the same way.
There's a million local channels you can have a fucking half-hour show on.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I don't know about the Lakers. Or how much is real? I guess I was just alive in the era, so I knew a little bit more what was like real or not.
Yeah.
Like he could have not sat down with Red Auerbach for all we know, and that could have just been for fun for the show.
But I think it was. I mean, it is based on a book that was. Showtime. That supposedly some of the stuff is documented.
It just makes such a big warning because it's a comedy and they're bashing a bunch of people.
Yeah.
It just makes such a big warning. Like all this is dramatized, and you're like, all right, I get it.
It's fun though.
It is. I like it.
It's
I like
a really fun.
It's kind of refreshing because like we talked about, like a lot of sports shows are more dramatic, and this is more comedy driven and at least lighthearted. Like even though he's like freaking out in his room, looking like he's about to kill himself, like it's like lighthearted-ish. I don't know how much of the owners. Maybe it's a different era, and they kind of mention it there. And certain owners now, Mark Cuban, et cetera, are like more involved. But it seemed in that era that owners were very involved.
Yeah,
we're like now I don't think they do. I think a lot of them teach it like a stock. They own it, and they give it to the GM and the execs, and they just kind of bounce.
Which is what Red Auerbach says in the dialogue there. And I think that Mark Cuban had some trouble breaking in to the
industry.
Yeah, because I think that because he was kind of a new money guy.
He was young at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, still he's not that old, but I think he was really young when he bought it. Even though Jerry Buss looks young in the show. Obviously, it's John C. Reilly, so who knows? But when did he pass away? 2015 or something?
Something like that. I don't know. I looked it up last week.
Yeah, so maybe he was
14, 15,
pretty
16,
young.
something like that. Yeah.
They still don't really show, like, I know they say, like, real estate he made his money, and I just don't know, and we looked over it, but it's funny, like, his mom's his accountant, and, like, he's kind of on her couch, but he lives, like, a rich life, but he doesn't live a rich life.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like he doesn't have money in the show, and then sometimes he's like, yeah, we'll buy you whatever player you want. I'm like, is that before salary caps? How does that conversation go?
I believe that was before salary caps. Before free agents, too, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's just going nuts. I don't know, because, obviously MLB's like that, and European soccer, most soccer leagues are like that, but basketball, like, each team gets to spend the same amount of money, which is cool, I think. But during this era, it doesn't feel like it.
Well, I mean, they can spend more. There's luxury tax.
Yeah, there's a fat tax. I think there might be an upper limit, though, still.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. But I don't think you can just. Yeah, I don't think you can just go gas to the wall. I think there's an upper limit.
That's one of the things that baseball was just wrestling with is there a ceiling, is there a floor?
Yeah.
You know, like if you're going to own a team, you have to.
There
spend
should
X
probably be a
amount,
floor. Yeah.
Because otherwise, you're fielding a minor league team in a major league uniform, which is bullshit, and nobody's going to show up to watch that.
Yeah, and that's what they talk about on the show. It's just like it is interesting, like how much of a business it is, and like, yeah, you need to win enough games to fill seats and like sell jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
But do you need to win a championship to make money if you're an owner? Mm-hmm. Like, I obviously don't know the business that well, but
I think you make your money when you sell. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, you make your team good enough, marketable enough, a cool jersey, one or two cool players. You sell some tickets. He talks a lot about owning the Forum already in this one too, about how to fill out the venue 360 days a year, which is just like, it's such dumb business, but like some business decisions are that. Like he says the average stadium, I think, sells 210 events a year. Yeah. He's like, cool, let's get to 260 and then 360, and then we'll be good. And I'm like, yeah, man, like, because people ask me on Instagram, like, business questions. I'm like, sometimes it's not that complicated. Like, how you get there, everyone's got to finagle away. I'm not saying it's easy.
Right.
But, like, all right, you own this iconic building in Los Angeles, which is, like, new, Hollywood, money, all this stuff. It's now sunny California. How do you make more money? Well, we just need more events. Like, it seems simple enough. Right. Like, how you get there, sure, is difficult, but some people just overcomplicate business sometimes.
I think that's part of the thing about arenas, period, when you're building, like, new arenas or whatever. If you can't book shows in there when you're not playing
basketball or
whatever,
Yeah, even ours. Like, in the summer, we have some concerts, but I feel like we don't go nuts. Yeah. And obviously, where Sacramento's a little bit different. It's not as much of a destination spot as L.A., but
yeah,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. Before we transition away from this, I've forgotten what it was. Thing I wanted to talk about was this: rituals.
Oh yeah,
pre-lift rituals, pre-meet rituals, pre-workout rituals, whatever. And the reason I want to talk about this is our friend Garrett Farr went just totally off on a lifter who has very complicated deadlift setup.
I feel like you and I for sure have done an episode on this, either making fun of people or joking about it. Like, deadlift setups have been a thing.
I don't know if we specifically talked about it for a whole episode before, but it's a thing.
I'm just saying in our 10 years of podcast, I know we've talked about it.
Probably so.
Yeah. Because, there's a big old thing like sumo lifter or whatever. Yeah, everyone's got a thing. Or like Dan Green braces a certain way, and then you saw like 100 lifters brace exactly like he like he kind of flexes his biceps before he grabs the bar and shit. Now you're like, all right, everyone's doing that. Like, going back to rituals, like, it should probably be kind of individual to like get you. It's kind of like a cue. It's a lifting cue.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Yeah, like the same coach, he can have similar cues for clients or whatever. But like, if you're just telling everyone knees out, but homeboy ain't got a problem with his knees going out, this cue probably isn't working now.
Right. And in terms of rituals for deadlift in particular, I don't feel it like people really know what they're doing.
I think that goes everywhere, right? For everything.
I mean, maybe they do.
Yeah.
I didn't have a complicated ritual, so and I was playing gear, so you sort of, a lot of it is about getting into position and figuring out how to get into position.
Yeah, it's a little more like functional. Like it's a mandatory.
Yeah,
it's like a mandatory ritual to even grab the fucking bar.
Yeah, how do you get down there and get both hands on the bar with enough of a grip that you can actually pull it without losing?
Yeah, Yeah, when to breathe, when not to breathe. It's a little simpler raw.
Yeah, but the folks that are doing like walk like an Egyptian before they actually even get to the bar.
Yeah, I vogue.
Yeah.
I don't know. I probably sound like a hater a lot, but like I do deem a lot of things that people like just not playing sports before. Like, if someone's doing all that at the free throw line, I know that kid's a joke. You know what I mean? Like, if you're doing all that, I'm like, dude, you just probably can't shoot. Like, you're trying to figure your shit out, But like, if you straight shoot, you're gonna have a routine, but it's gonna be a little more basic. Couple dribbles, spin or two. Maybe you throw one up for the homies, and then you're shooting, Like, Jason Kidd was a decent free throw shooter. He, like, blew a kiss to his kids. But that was probably only in the NBA. He's not doing all that in college.
Yeah.
Deadlift was probably the same. If you got to do the haka before you fucking pull 315.
See, that's, right.
You probably ain't got it in you.
But there is actually some science around it.
Yeah, not the haka.
Not the haka.
No,
but
I think
unless the ritual is your haka is the ritual.
Yeah, I don't know what the science is. I'm sure it agrees to how I coach, but like just like a free throw, and I make references to squatting, benching, and deadlifting very similar to a free throw or shooting a golf, a drive or something like that. You want to build a routine that gets you both mentally and physically in the same position, because all that really matters in all these things is consistency.
Yeah.
Sure, there's better form and worse form, and you want to keep the bar close on a deadlift, et cetera, et cetera. There's things where we're trying to hit, but the ritual to me is literally just consistency. Same thing why there's even form in shooting a basketball. Why there's a certain way you swing a baseball bat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, there's some ways that are more optimal than others, but we've seen guys shoot basketballs great with funky form, and I'm sure we've seen baseball hitters hit home runs with some weird shit. But the point is that they're consistent time and time again.
Right.
And that's literally the key for anything in life, if you ask me. Where I'm a big tradition guy, or because tradition and like superstition start to mesh in, like if it's a pre-thing, it's probably more mental. And you still want a routine. Like, I used to shower before every basketball game.
Mm-hmm.
I like to shower before workouts. Schedule doesn't always help. You always eat like the certain meal, the certain whatever. And some of that looks from the outside superstitious.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, if I don't eat my Caesar salad, I'm going to lose. But a lot of it is maybe just routine to get you in the same mental start as you are every single game.
And here's the thing. Where did it all come from? Probably religion.
Probably
religion.
Yeah. You're like I feel like some of it's just like a little bit of human nature too. Like, eventually, like, if you want to be good at something, you're just gonna have to do it the same all the time.
Yeah.
And you probably find like a weird tick where you're doing shit a certain way.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna link that article in here called "Why Rituals Work," but we talk about placebos, and it's very similar.
Yeah.
And so many of the things that we feel uncertain about are somewhat solved by making them feel more familiar.
Yeah.
By doing repetitive things.
That's why I say people would, like, whether it's mental illness or just even anxiety or whatever, just like have a routine in your life.
Yeah.
Having like meals at the same time, work at the same time, leisure at the same time.
Yeah.
Probably help a lot of your brain stuff.
Yeah.
Because what's scary? The unknown.
Yeah.
So how about we isolate that as much as we can?
For sure. And in powerlifting and weightlifting, any strength-based thing, there's that dichotomy between strength and form.
Yeah.
And I think that ritual doesn't do anything for strength, really, or not much at least, but it certainly makes a difference to form.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, kind of the consistency, like we said. Yeah, you're not going to pull something out because you did the haka, but you might be able to deadlift the same way you did in practice as haka. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, weightlifters are probably even a better example. I don't know if they're all as crazy, because there are some powerlifters. I don't want to say I'm Team Garrett Fear on this one. There are some shit I'm like, dude, what are you doing? But weightlifters always do some shit.
Yeah.
And that is a little more mental. Even the 6 months, I kind of went hard on weightlifting. It does feel, because you're like, damn, it's going to be hard. And maybe it's because I was still new to it. I'm like, damn, it's going to be hard. I couldn't get as like excited to pull.
Yeah.
When I can get all fired up for a deadlift because my form's so locked in. You know what I mean? I can get all mental and crazy. Weightlifting, I kind of couldn't. I had to concentrate and try to get excited, which is kind of hard. Where powerlifting, I just don't. Maybe because I've done it longer, but I don't have to get as concentrating. Basketball is kind of the same too.
Yeah.
I would concentrate a little bit on like the plays or what I had to do because I was like captain. I had to call some plays, but like I could just kind of focus energy. I don't know. You're right though. I think some is the mental skill side and then the physical. Because powerlifting, we all know why dudes are bashing their head against the wall. Like maybe that's not our route, but I understand it. Mm-hmm. I do understand it. Like you get angry and you do feel stronger. Yeah. Like you move some weight you might not be able to move.
Yeah. What I've seen more is people get overhyped.
Yeah,
like they need to find the right level with it. Yeah. For sure.
That's kind of the same thing. Is like I just don't know if a lot of those guys were like high level athletes. Because no way you're going into a football game that's 2 hours long, fucking bashing your head the whole time. You just can't. You can't do that.
I think if you've made yourself bleed, you've perhaps gone too far.
I don't know, man.
As cool as
my boy Tom Callis makes himself bleed here and there, and he squats pretty good.
I think it's because he's a cutter. That's what.
Yeah, he'd be bashing his head against the squat bar. You're gonna get fucked up.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe his rage is controlled to the point that it's not a big deal. But
I think you're right.
Other people, like, concussing yourself is never a good idea.
No, I think you're right, and especially for those people. And obviously, we're joking about how much they bleed or concussed, even though I'm sure someone has, that their skill probably isn't at the level where they can get that excited.
Right.
But if you're the most skilled lifter, you could probably go ape shit, because you're so locked into your squat form, like a Tom. But for the majority of people then see Tom, or Marcus is a good example too, Filipino Thunder here. He gets all kinds of fired up. But his squat's really good. Like he has really good form. He's done it for 15 years. He can build up that mental because the physical skill is already going to be there. It's kind of like a default. Where if you're even newish, and in new depends on the sport, it could be 7 years if you're not that good. Like your squat form isn't locked in, and now you're kind of get fired up. Now you're probably going to.
Well, having seen him lift for many, many years, I think that part of his process of firing up is actually regulating himself down
maybe
to the level to concentrate on it.
It might be.
Like he's blowing off a lot of steam before he gets in there.
Yeah.
And some people would say, "Oh, you're wasting energy." It's like, no, he's wasting energy, but wasting it down to the point that he can control it.
Just like dogs that do the zoomies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they just do that to get out of energy.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Zoomies.
Yeah. Yeah, Marcus is just doing the zoomies pre 900-pound squat.
So from this point forward, that's what we're gonna call all those warm ups and call them zoomies.
Yeah,
crazy ritual things before pulls.
I do think in general, I was like really into flow state for a while and shit like that, or the concept of it, because I've never been able to feel it that good besides playing basketball. Basketball is probably the only time I've ever really felt it. Maybe a couple times podcasting or something, because you're so into the conversation, or like the conversation is moving so fast, you kind of have no option to be there. But basketball, if you want to succeed, you literally have no option other than to be like 1,000,000,000% present, right? There's so much going on. And like lifting is just not like that. Like I'm lifting for 30 seconds and I'm sitting for 3 minutes. Like I just can't be that locked in. I can't think of another example. So I was just listen to podcasts or read articles or whatever on flow, and a lot of people say that routine will get you in there,
right?
Because a lot of people talk about flow. Maybe music. Actually, when I played music, maybe I hit it a little bit. You're really into a song, and we did a lot of like jazz or improv-y things, so you really had to feed off of everybody else, and you had to be present. But people talked about routine to get yourself into flow to write, or routine to get yourself into flow to sing, or to go to work, or whatever. Even painters, creative, whatever. And so I think it's a little bit the same. Maybe it's a little bit placebo, but you're like, I know what flow feels like, and that's over here at B. And to get there, I got to do, steps 1 through 3. And if I do steps 1 through 3 the exact same, maybe my chances are higher to get to B.
Yeah. Some of the research has been done around bereavement. So like mourning, sadness, whatever. And some of it has been like, attempting to establish things when when someone's going to die, that someone's dying, attempting to establish good feelings paired with the bad feelings so that the good feelings eventually override.
Interesting.
But this one is not. This one's actually about losing. I'm just going to read this. We examined the power. This is from the Why Rituals Work article that's going to be linked here. We examined the power of rituals in alleviating disappointment in a more mundane context, losing a lottery. I'm disappointed every time I play the lottery, so I should probably read this. We invited people into the laboratory and told them they would be part of a random drawing, which they could win $200 on the spot and leave without completing the study. To make the pain of losing even worse, we even asked them to think and write about the ways that they would use the money, which is really painful. That's some of how I put myself to sleep is sometimes what I would do if I won the lottery.
Daydreamings.
Yeah, another random draw. After another random draw, the winner got to leave, and we divided the remaining losers into 2 groups. Some people were asked to engage in the following ritual. Step 1 was to draw how you currently feel on a piece of paper on the desk for 2 minutes. Step 2 was to sprinkle a pinch of salt on the paper with your drawing. Step 3 was to tear up the piece of paper, and 4 was to count to 10 in your head 5 times. Other people simply engaged in a task, drawing how they felt, for the same amount of time. Finally, everyone answered questions about their level of grief, such as, I can't help feeling angry and upset about the fact that I did not win $200. The results, those who perform a ritual after losing in the lottery reported feeling less grief. Our results suggest that engaging in rituals mitigates grief caused by both life-changing losses, such as death of a loved one, and more mundane ones, losing a lottery. So, is the ritual before somebody goes up to pull
just because they're worried they're going to miss?
Yeah. I wonder about that.
I don't know. Yeah, again, because like on the death thing, I don't. It's probably gonna sound dark. I don't know. Maybe not that dark, but just true. I've gone through a lot of death.
Yeah.
And I don't know any of it was. All of it was like pretty unexpected and traumatic.
Yeah.
Like none of it was prepared.
Yeah.
That I could think of. Maybe my aunt a little bit. She's getting a little bit older, a little bit sick. But every other one, my grandpa. But every other one, all like 6 in that weird years I lived, were all out of nowhere. So I had no routine. I had no, even if I wanted to fake it till I made it, no chance.
Yeah.
And lifting to me, I don't know. I think it, yeah, to me, probably not. I don't relate to that. And I don't know, obviously, they're studying psychology. They're much smarter than I. But like shooting a free throw, you're just doing it to be consistent. You're not, I'm not preparing myself for a miss.
Right.
Because if you miss half of your shots at a free throw line, you're a very bad free throw shooter. Yeah. So like we're doing it to make for sure. And even lifting, I would say, is even if you're lifting correctly, your percentage should be like the best free throw of all time. You should be shooting like 97% in the gym. Yeah. Right? Like I just made that up, but
not Shaq.
You should not be missing. Maybe even more. You might be at like, yeah, I mean, if you train all year round and you compete twice, let's say, yeah, you should be shooting, 97-ish or above. I mean, obviously you want to shoot 100, but even a good lifter, you should be shooting 97, 98% in the gym. So I don't know if it is for a miss.
I was watching, we're back to winning time for a second there, the guy playing Magic. Actually,
at the park.
Yeah. That was quite a display.
I see like that. I just don't know if that's real or not. And who is that fucking guy? You're like, I'm very confident in my basketball skills, but if I'm at a park and the number 1 draft pick in the NBA is just like, let's go, I'm like, I'm like, all right, man. Like, it's just different.
Yeah, I think I hear my mom calling
unless
me.
That guy played, like, college, which, he works at, like, a Foot Locker. They haven't really mentioned any of that. But if that guy's a D1 player, all right, I'll check out Magic. And
he was also short.
He was tiny. I mean, who knows? He could have been 6'2". Magic's 6'9".
Yeah. Although that actor is not, but
yeah. If that actor is short, then that guy's 5'5".
That actor's 6'5".
Yeah. Oh, that's still pretty good.
They couldn't find anybody who was 6'9".
It's rare.
Who could act.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sure even Kareem in the movie's not, 6'10" or 7'1" or whatever. The Kareem scene was kind of funny too.
Yeah.
Obviously just short and sweet, but I wonder how much of that's real also.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you just not care about basketball all summer? That's like the vibe they sent you.
That is the vibe that they sent. Yeah, that he was like, but I mean, I don't know. He was into martial arts, right?
I think similar time,
sort of spiritually into that stuff.
Yeah, he's similar time when he went to the Lakers is I think when he turned Muslim, changed his name, and then also similar time he was still very fucking good on Lakers. Don't get me wrong, but like he was the older guy,
right?
He wasn't the young buck anymore, so maybe he was just confident in his game, and I don't know. I've heard from pro athlete friends and in the stuff that there are a lot of guys, maybe not on a Kareem level because he's legendary, but there's really, really good professional athletes that don't really train.
I believe that.
Yeah, and that's where I did a whole video on it. People still get mad where I say that talent does beat hard work, and I think it does it in every aspect everywhere.
Yeah, I think genetics beats a lot of
it really
stuff.
Does.
Yeah,
in lifting and anywhere. Yeah, it really does
for sure.
And that doesn't feel good on the morale.
No,
but truth hurts, kids.
So I don't have a whole lot more on this.
I wonder if the intent behind your routine has to line up to have effect.
That's a fair point.
Right? Like intent in training has to be there to have effect. Intent in everything, right? Like why are we doing it? Where are we going for it? And that's like the old meme of like I train, I don't work out.
Yeah.
Which sounds corny, but I do believe in it. Like you have to have intent and a loose goal to be able to get better.
Right.
Otherwise you're just going through the motions. So I wonder if they're voguing, not knowing why they're voguing. Or the vogue's different every setup.
That I would have a problem with that.
Yeah.
That would have a problem. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, I bet you it's more common than we think. As you see your favorite lifter, John Hack, pull 900, and you kind of see what he does, but you're not all in, and then you just try to mimic it, and you just do some random shit.
So that's a thing, and that's definitely a thing I've seen evolve over the, basically the YouTube era.
Yeah.
People start to adopt other people's lifting styles, whether or not it's right for them.
Which I think is like fine to some extent. Lifting may be a little bit different than other sports because leverages play such a role. Like your arm length decides how you probably should lift.
Yeah.
Or like basketball or baseball swing, you could probably emulate Barry Bonds and get pretty good.
Potentially.
Yeah. I mean, you could also just suck at baseball, but your swing wouldn't be the issue. You would be.
Right.
Your coordination would suck.
Right. Well, this seems to be indicating that the actual content of the ritual is not as important as the performance of the ritual.
I do wonder how much that pertains to the activity. Because I think the ritual in powerlifting can be both the skill and the strength.
Yeah.
Right? Because like the bench setup's a good example.
Yeah.
Like it's a joke now how long people take and how extravagant it is, but if you're doing the right things, it might take you a while to really dig your traps in, to really get your feet set. So it looks funky as you're like kind of caterpillaring your body into a position. So it is like a superstition, tradition, routine, but it really does serve a function.
Yeah.
Where the deadlift's probably a better joke example, because why are you voguing? It's not helping your lat tightness.
No. It's not a movement preparation kind of activity.
That's a little different in powerlifting to other sports too, is like prep of the actual movement, getting under a squat bar and like getting it in the exact place and your back exactly where you want it and your hands exactly where you want it. That's much different than any other sport I can think of.
Yeah.
Because even baseball, like you're kind of gripping that thing, but like generally speaking, you're going to grip the same spot.
Although, there's a lot of ritual around that in baseball.
No, but
for sure.
But I don't know if it's functional.
Oh, I don't know if all of it's functional.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I think they've actually sort of curbed it some, but there was a lot of they would call it like yard work, where the guy comes up to the batter's box and he's like kicking the dirt around and
I think when I think superstition in sport, I think baseball or golf.
Yeah, golf. It's actually deeper in this article is another one relative to drive accuracy, and people who were performing this ritual had greater drive accuracy, and it wasn't their ritual going in. It was just a clarifying kind of ritual. I mean, this is bullshit, but it's also clarifying. It takes the noise out of whatever signal you've got going on.
Right. Or if there's pressure added, right? If you do one thing in practice, I mean, I understand it 1,000,000,000%, and I agree with it, but I do think certain lifts, especially powerlifting, is the only one I can really think of where they are, some of them, not all these voguers, but they serve like a physical function rather than just the mental.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird, because I can't think of another sport that does that. Maybe golf a little bit. You're digging your heels into the grass. Like we said, baseball a little bit. You got to get your grip exact right. Basketball a little bit. You'll spin the ball to get your hands on the laces, but it's not like as functional. If you just get under a barbell and the bar's like half an inch off on your trap, you're going to miss a lift if it's a max effort. It's literally going to miss. Where like if I'm sure if Barry Bonds' pinky's not in the exact lace on the fucking bat, he's still going to crank one.
Yeah, the home run that Hunter Pence hit in the World Series, I think it was a World Series a few years ago, where the bat broke and it literally the ball hit it 3 times.
Yeah,
it's like there's no science or anything.
And
around
still
that.
crushed
Just,
it.
just no science around that at all.
No way to fix it.
Shouldn't have happened. Anyway, speaking of performance in sport, September 11th.
Yeah, I didn't think about that date.
Yeah, you know what? What are we gonna do?
I thought it's pretty American to do some fucking powerlifting.
Yeah.
So our first meet.
Yeah. Our first full meet.
Yeah. 3rd Street Barbell, the Good Company Classic. Federation is the USPA. I believe it's open and ready to register.
I didn't see a link for the registration, but you can see the actually listing on the date for their calendar.
Okay,
at this
so
point.
it's official.
By the time this is up, maybe
so we'll probably throw it on the website. We'll for sure throw it in Discord. If you guys want to join the Discord, it's 50percentfacts.com. We have a link going there to go to the Discord. You also get early access and exclusives on all the merch, all the clothing, all the news we have. So join the Discord. September 11th, it's going to be a freaking party here in Sacktown. Hopefully some food, some vendors, having a good time. And then 3sb.co for all your clothing needs. I'm Silent Mike. Everywhere you want to find me.
I am at the Jim McDonald on the social medias. This show, 50% facts, 4% is a word. And if you have some rituals that you want to talk about pre-lift, pre-competition, pre-whatever, I forgot to say this. Probably my biggest squat came from a meet where I had a very specific breakfast, and I tried to repeat that, and I did not repeat my performance in the meet. It just didn't happen.
Bastards.
So yeah, it doesn't always work. Anyway,